But now this wise wife has gotten married to a fool. YouTube family, our today's topic is money. Money, money, money. I want actually to start with a particular statement, and you'll understand why I have decided to start with that statement. And as always, every topic that we have in this platform, it's in line with the union of marriage, is in line with our lives, not only in the union of marriage, also even to them who are aspiring to be married. I felt that this topic was needful because of the role that money is playing in this union of marriage. And sometimes we tend to ignore it, but we have lived to see union of marriages ending and breaking just because of money. So I felt it's important that we have this discussion today, and also for it to even aid us, to catapult us to the next level in wisdom. That when we are faced with financial challenges later in life, or even maybe currently there's some couples, families that are facing this challenge, they are able to understand and to operate from the platform of wisdom and in wisdom. Because I've also come to learn in life that where wisdom thrives, all is well. Where wisdom is, you have answers to everything. Where wisdom resides, there are no problems. There are no challenges that cannot be overcome in wisdom. So I felt that it's important that we have this discussion, and I will start with this. We need to have attained our maturity from the position of our action in the presence of lack and plenty. Because I normally tend to believe that the true nature of an individual is actually demonstrated in the presence of plenty or in the presence of lack. How does an individual behave or act when you have it all? How does an individual behave or act in the presence of lack? I actually don't have anything. Will that bring out the monster within you? Do you even actually have a monster within you that will only be able to know you by that which you are, that you tend to hide so much that nobody will ever find out about you? Will it be brought out in the presence of lack or plenty? You know? And in most cases, that is when you get to know people's true nature, true character, in the presence of that. So I felt that starting with the man, the king of the home, then the woman, the queen, how you manage your finances, your behavior in the presence of lack and plenty will determine the stability of the union of marriage. And as you're saying that how we behave or how we are in the presence of lack and plenty will determine the stability, we also want to grow into a place where you're able to manage the finances. It's not like when you find yourself in the presence of plenty, how are you? What is your true nature? Do you become a spendthrift? Do you become a waster? That the minute, it's like you have seen people who in the presence of plenty, they become mad. They become wild. The things they do, you even question, is this a mature person? Because of the wastage that they find themselves doing. And at that particular time and point, nobody can be able even to tell them anything. You cannot stop them. You cannot tell them what to do. They are on top of the world. They are nasty. They are violent. They are very rude. They are arrogant in the presence of plenty. And also in the presence of lack, how do you behave? How are you? Is it that the moment and the time that we begin to see your true nature, you withdraw yourself, you become abusive, you become insultive, you become a frustration to be in. Your presence becomes toxic for everybody else around you, you know? And that is why I call forth for maturity in this situation. When it comes to money matters, maturity is key. Maturity in both worlds. Maturity in the plenty, maturity in the lack. So I will take you now to the definition of money. What is actually money? What is money? Because for me, I normally say in every topic where we are learning about something, a particular word, a particular thing, we need to actually understand it and even define it for us to be able now to understand it even when we bring in the scriptures. So now I will define money. A current medium of exchange in the form of coins and banknotes. It's a medium of exchange, and I like that word because money is a medium of exchange. It's a current medium of exchange in form of coins and banknotes. So that is what we define money. We define it's a medium of exchange. What I don't have, I can use the medium of exchange to acquire it or to obtain it. That is money. So I will take you straight to the scriptures, Deuteronomy, and we'll start from the Old Testament. Deuteronomy 8:18. And they are specific in line with the topic of today, money. I feel they are specific scriptures that I have picked for a particular reason. And that is why actually I take you back to the statement that I started with. We need to have attained our maturity from the position of our action in the presence of lack and plenty, starting with the man, the king of the home, then the woman, the queen. How you manage your finances. I wanted to bring that out. How you manage your finances. Your behavior in the presence of lack and plenty will determine the stability in that union of marriage. I will take you now to Deuteronomy again, Deuteronomy 8:18, and we are reading King James. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he who giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto thy fathers, as it is this day. So I want us to capture one particular thing. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is God, that giveth thee power to get wealth. It is God, it is not man. It is not your hard work. It is not the good luck charm of your husband. It is not your wife or your husband. So, and the reason why I have felt I bring this particular statement is because you have had cases where the man has gone bankrupt or he was doing so well and then something happened in his business and he goes home, and of course the first person, either mother-in-law or somebody, they start now telling you that that wife is bad luck to you, or that woman is a witch, or she's the reason why, because from the moment you married her your life just started becoming a mess. All these kind of lies. And that's why I tend to tell people, my Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. The Bible doesn't tell you an individual. Yes, they are enemies. They are enemies who can even work against you in line with your finances, your progress, your growth. Yes, their research. But the woman you have married cannot be that demon to cause you to lack, yet she's the first one to want you to prosper so that you can be able to sustain her and the children that you have. Even if there is lack of knowledge in some sense there, I feel also there's a lot of ignorance in it. So we needed to go back to Deuteronomy 8:18, that it is indeed God who giveth thee power to get wealth. And how do we define power? Dynamic ability to cause change. Power, dynamic ability to cause change. That it is God that gives you dynamic ability to cause change. This dynamic ability to cause change does not come from man. Dynamic ability to cause change comes from God. Okay? Now, the power that will cause a shift and a change in your life for you to get wealth comes from God. I also felt that I needed to go slightly deeper and define again power, the intelligence that nurtures and organizes all forms, atoms to cosmos. That power, it is actually an intelligence. It is like a living thing. Power, it's actually a living thing. Power, it's actually a wisdom. In some sort, it is part of the Spirit of the Lord, meaning it is a living being. I think that is what I'm trying to bring out. Power is alive. Is alive. It is alive. It is an intelligence that is set in motion for a particular manifestation. It is like I have sent forth a particular intelligence to cause a particular thing to happen. So now you're being told it is God that gives you this kind of intelligent power to get wealth. So this intelligence specifically is to cause you to get wealth, and it can only come from God. Yeah? And that power, we have defined it as a dynamic ability to cause change. Without that power, there is no change. Without that power, there is no manifestation of wealth. And without that power, it means this power that inhales from God, it is the one mandated to manifest the wealth. Yeah. So with that, at least now we understand that it is indeed God who giveth power, dynamic ability to cause change, to get wealth. Now we are going to define wealth. An abundance of valuable possessions or money, a plentiful supply of a particular desirable thing. There are two words I need you to capture: possessions and plentiful. So where there is wealth, there is an abundance of valuable possessions. Yeah, and also plentiful. There is no lack or shortage in wealth. Plentiful supply of a particular desirable thing. It is not the undesirable things, but wealth, it is a desirable thing, and it is plentiful. It's an abundance. You see, it's plentiful and there is an abundance. Abundance of valuable possession. That where wealth is, it is in abundance. Where wealth is, it is in plenty. In plenty, supply, you know. So wealth is accompanied by plenty and abundance of valuable positions or desirable things that you want. So that is the definition of wealth. And this is what God is saying, that it is only He that giveth power, dynamic ability to cause change, to make that wealth come forth, to make that wealth manifest. I will take you now to Proverbs 10:22, and we read King James. The blessings of the Lord, it maketh rich, and addeth no sorrow to it. The blessing, again we have gone back again to the blessing. The blessing of the Lord maketh thee rich, and adds no sorrow to it. You'll see here there is a repetition of the previous statement. It is God that giveth thee power to get wealth. And now you're being told the blessing of the Lord. So the blessing comes from the Lord. It makes you rich. Every blessing that comes from God will make you rich, and it will add no sorrows to it. Meaning that the wealth, the power to get wealth comes from God. The blessing is of the Lord. And now you're being told actually the mandate of the blessing. The mandate of the blessing is to do what? It makes you rich. And where riches are, adds no sorrows to it. So where riches are, there are no sorrows. So when you get again the blessings from the Lord, because you're being told the blessings of the Lord. So even in blessings, they are also coming from God. They are also emanating from God. You are also inhaling them from God. The source of the blessing is the Lord. And the blessing, the mandate of the blessing is to make you rich. And removes, adds no sorrow to it. Meaning in the presence of making you rich, there are no sorrows added to it. Where blessings are riches, and no sorrows are founded in the blessing. Where there is a blessing, there are no sorrows. The only thing you find in blessings, it's only riches. It makes you rich. And then The only thing you will never find in blessings are sorrows. So that is what the scripture is telling us. And now I want us to define blessings. Blessings can be defined. I normally say blessings is limitless. Yeah? But now, shallowly, if we may say, I will define it as favor, protection, approval, acceptance, God stepping into your situation. The God presence in itself, it's a blessing. Because in God's presence, there is plentiful of everything that you desire. Every good with an expected end. So blessings, it is God stepping into your situation. So when God steps into your situation, blessings are founded. That is favor, protection, approval, acceptance, as in everything, in every good with an expected end, everything that he has predestined for you from the foundations of the earth, it's just present and in abundance. Plentiful and in abundance. So where blessings are, there are no shortage. There is no lack. And all this, you remember, let's not forget the two major scriptures. Everything is inhaling from God. Everything is coming from the Lord, from God, the creator of heaven and earth. Not from man, but from God. I will take you to Proverbs 21:20. And I'll read again King James. There is treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. Now you realize that this scripture is actually linking itself with my beginning statement. How you behave in the presence of plenty and in the presence of lack. Now in Proverbs, it's telling you, Proverbs 21:20, I'm reading King James again. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise. That in the presence of a wise person, there are treasures to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise. Meaning in the wise, you will not lack. In a wise person, there will always be treasure. Because treasure and the oil will keep multiplying as a result of the wisdom in this particular person. As a result, wisdom will attract treasures. Wisdom will attract oil, meaning that in the presence of wisdom, there is no drought. Everything is crescent. Everything is in motion. Because in the presence where there is oil, there is no stagnation. And that is what the scripture is telling us. But a foolish man spendeth it up. It doesn't matter how much a foolish man is given. It doesn't matter how much you bless a foolish man. He will spend it all up. Meaning there is drought in the presence of the foolish. Meaning there are no treasures in the presence of the foolish. Because no matter how much you try to assist the foolish, there will be nothing. The foolish will always spend it all up. Yeah? So that is like a teaching from God telling us on how we should spend. How do you behave in the presence of plenty? So that is one of the teaching that God is actually teaching us. How to behave, how to operate in the presence of plenty. When God blesses you with plenty, how do you behave? You have to operate in wisdom, but not in foolishness. And you have been told what is present in the wise, what is present in the foolish. The foolish, no matter how much you give, they spend it all. Proverbs 21:20, but reading from MSG, and I will also read from the Amplified, because I feel that this is actually one of the highlights of the scriptures of a teaching us on how we should behave in the presence of plenty. So I will read from MSG version. Valuables are safe in a wise person's home. Fools put it all out for yard sale. When you are in plenty, valuables, or everything that God bestows upon you, in the hands of the wise, those valuables are safe. Meaning that this wise person will not squander. This wise person will think of new ways of increasing the much that he or she has been given. But the fool will put all out for yard sale. It means what? The fool takes everything and sells it. The fool doesn't think of tomorrow. The fool is thinking of now. The fool is not thinking that even as I've been given in plenty, I need to even think of new ways of increasing this little portion that I have. They are thinking on how they are going to put it all out. So it is not safe to give valuables to the fool. And that's why now it's telling you from MSG, valuables are safe in a wise person's home. Fools put it all out for yard sale. Then I will close the Proverbs 21:20 with the Amplified Version. There is precious treasures and oil in the house of the wise, who prepare for the future. You see? So the wise always thinks about tomorrow. The wise will always think about the future. So it doesn't matter how much they're being given. They know that there is a tomorrow. They know of the future. But a short-sighted and a foolish man swallows it up and wastes. You see now, and I will take you back to one of the teachings I have taught, and I said two cannot walk together unless they agree. And remember that when we are doing all these topics, even as we are talking about money today, it is also in line in the union of marriage, in relationships, and even those who are aspiring to get married. You cannot get married in foolishness of not knowing how to spend money. Now, I'll bring this scripture home. These are two people living together. One is wise, the other one is a fool. How are you going to work together unless you agree? One will be wise, and the fool will always bring down the wise. And that's why you'll find so many people, so many unions of marriage, that we have a very bright person, bright man, bright husband who is working so hard, bringing food on the table. He has goals, he has dreams, and he's actually gone out there to actualize them. But now the partner that he has as a wife, their work is to take, ask. But even the much or the little that he's getting from the husband, when the husband comes home and looks back on what you have done, the fool has wasted it all up. Look at it this way. Also, in the case of a very wise wife, and this wife is very hardworking, and she's saving and buying land and doing all sorts and manner of things, just like the wise husband on his part. But now this wise wife has gotten married to a fool. So the much that she does, the ideas, the visions, the plans that she has for the tomorrow, this fool is only taking to destroy. And it is also very dangerous in the union of a marriage when the husband is the fool. Because remember, a husband is dominating. The husband is the king. So the wife will have very limited ways or means of trying to tell the husband, no, you know, we cannot do this because can't you see, if we spend all this money, how about tomorrow? How about the children? What if the business? What if I'm fired? What if the business goes down? You know, it will be very difficult and very challenging for this wife to try and make the foolish husband realize it. But in most cases, it's a bit also a challenge in some way when the wise husband is confronted by the fool who is in the wife. So it is important to make sure that when these young ones who are planning to get married, are you compatible? Are you on the same journey? Can two of you walk together because you are in agreement? You know, because if you're not in agreement, do your discussion before the decision. Make choices before decision, you know. So you need to make sure that both of you are compatible. Both of you are on the same journey. Both of you are actually complementing each other. One can be in business, the business is booming, but even if I'm a housewife, I'm managing your finances, I'm actually your perfect accountant. That even you can tell that the far we have joined hands, it will really work. And at the same time, both of us can also be entrepreneurs. Both of us, we are business people, and both of our business are doing well. And because we are both wise, you realize that because we are working together, because we are agreeing, then this multiplication of wealth in this union of marriage will be very visible. Yeah. So money is a very key and very important aspect in the union of marriage and even in the relationship. But also it will be founded by you two. Are you wise or are you foolish? As the scriptures have directed us. I'll now take you to Proverbs 10:4 and I'll read King James. Sloth makes you poor. Diligence brings wealth. I will read Amplified again for us to understand again. Poor is he who works with a negligent and idle hand. But the hand of the diligent makes him rich. Are you diligent in what you set to do? You know? Are you slothful? Because sloth makes you poor. Poor is he who works with a negligence and idle hands. You have nothing to bring to the table. You're always there, maybe talking, but you have idle hands. Your hands never get to do anything. You're not diligent in doing anything, but you want everything done for you. Poverty will always set. Poverty will always be evident in a slothful person. I don't know how to better explain it, because even as you're talking of slothful, laziness, negligence, being idle, your work is to just sit and allow your other partner to just keep laboring for you. You will only attract poverty. Attract poverty because of your slothfulness. But the hand of the diligence makes him rich every single time. Every single time. Diligence brings wealth. Diligence will always manifest wealth. You have to be diligent in everything you set to do. And the two of you in the union of your marriage, you have to agree or even make a choice of being diligent in all you set to do. I will take you to Proverbs 13:11. So far where we have arrived at, you will realize that God is very vocal in training us on how to handle money. God is also very vocal and very instrumental and helpful in teaching us even why you abide in lack. So he's telling you the kind of person who will not attract wealth. The kind of person who will attract wealth. So God is very, very straightforward, if I may say, that you cannot miss the teaching or the understanding of what you should do to actually get wealth. So I will take you to Proverbs 13:11 and I'll read King James. And then I'll do MSG and Amplified. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. This is a warning. Let me do MSG. Easy come, easy go, but steady diligence pays off. Or let me read the Amplified. Wealth obtained by fraud dwindles, but he who gathers gradually by honesty, labor will increase his riches. So anything that is obtained in a fraudulent manner, anything that is obtained illegally, anything that you may get easily because maybe you used your shady ways on obtaining that money will never, we are normally told it doesn't hold your hands. It slides off your hands. So any wealth you get through fraud, illegal means, hurriedly, you are being told easy come, easy go. that money will slide off your hands. That money will not hold your hands. But the wealth that is born from honesty, labor will increase. You know, honesty, you have labored for that. You have worked hard to get what you needed to do because this was your passion. This is what God led you to do. So you have honestly earned what you have gotten. That will always increase your wealth. Why? Why do we say that you are blessed or your money will hold your hands when you do it in an honest manner? It's because whatever comes into your hands is blessed. So if it came into your hands in pure honesty, that money, that wealth is blessed. But anything you caused someone else to cry, shed a tear, you have found yourself maybe as a lawyer, and just because of your profession, you have accepted a bribe because you needed easy come, easy go, very quick money to just make another person suffer, to deny justice to that person. That money will never hold your hands. It doesn't matter what you do with that money. That money, either it will destroy you, and that money will never hold your hands. So you can see how profound and on point God is trying to teach us in line with money. I will take you to Matthew 6:21, and I'll read King James, then Amplified, and MSG. For where your treasures is, there will your heart be also. Before I say something about that scripture, Matthew 6:21, let's read the Amplified again. From where your treasure is, there your heart, your wishes, your desires, that on which your life centers will be also. And now I will read Amplified. Don't hold treasures down there where it gets eaten by moth and corroded by rust or worse, stolen by burglars. Stockpile treasures in heaven, where it's safe from moth and rust and burglars. It's obvious, isn't it? The place where your treasures is the place you will most want to be and end up being. Now we'll take you to King James. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be. You are not told your heart will be where the treasures are. No. God started with where your treasures are. So where are your treasures? Because the first thing is not your heart. The first thing is where your treasures are. That is where your heart will be. I'll repeat. There's a very good definition. Yes, that is Amplified. For where your treasures is, there your heart. Where your treasure is, that is where your heart, your wishes, your desires, that on which your life centers, that where your life is centered, your wishes, your desires, your heart, your everything, your whole senses, your thinking, where your treasures are, that is where your heart is. Your heart doesn't go before the treasures. You're being told where your treasures are, that is where your heart will be. Is that profound? Because in most cases, it's like you need to train your heart to be somewhere so that you can be able to control the monies or the treasures. No, but where your treasures are, 24/7, that is where your heart is. That is where your mind will be. That is where your thoughts will be. That is where. But now you need to learn. You need to understand the dynamics of money. You need to understand where does this money come from. You need to understand how do you get this money. The most important thing is about money. How do I relate? Because when you start understanding the dynamics of money, when you start understanding how to get the wealth, how to get the money, how to relate with the money, who is the master over the other. Because now you're being told in the last scripture that I have read, where your treasures are, that is where your heart is. You do not want to be controlled by the money, by the wealth. So that will only come with the diverse knowledge that you have mastered in line with the use of money. Or who are you in the presence of money? Who are you in the presence of the wealth? Who are you really in lack? Who are you really in plenty? What is your true nature in the presence of both? And with that now, I'll bring you back to the first statement I made. You need to have attained your maturity from the position of your action in the presence of lack and plenty, starting with the man, the king of the home, then the queen, the woman who is the queen. How you manage your finances, your behavior in the presence of lack and plenty will determine the stability of that union of marriage. And I think by now you understand that statement. Because how you relate, how you behave in the presence of lack and want, it is what is going to determine the stability of that union of marriage. Because you have realized, we can honestly say, a week doesn't go by before I relate or interact with a couple who are having issues. And one of the main issues is finances. One of the main issue is money. Either the other one is making more money than the other, so the other one is envious, is jealous, he wants to be in control. And especially this happens mostly in the cases where the woman is making more money than the man. So the man wants to take charge of the woman's money. He needs to decide on everything that needs to be done in the home with the wife's money. And you know, this can be very challenging when it comes to women, because remember, you need to watch my videos. I have taught who is the woman. The God nature of a woman. We were not created to give. We struggle to give. We give, yes, out of the familiar love. Because now we have a family. I will not sit and watch my husband suffer. I'll not sit and watch my children suffer. So I will feel obligated to give, but it is not within my nature to give. And that's why you realize from Genesis, the man gave and the woman brought forth as a result of what she was given. Remember the topic I have taught, you can go back and watch, the one that I have taught, women don't love. Women don't love, and I said men were given something called eros love. It's a type of love. That love was given to the man to give to the woman, for the woman to become that which he has been given. Women don't give back. When the woman is given something, she becomes. Like for instance, let me take a simple example. The man will give the woman a seed, and out of the seed, the woman will give birth to a child. So the woman does not receive the seed to give back the seed. She becomes. So it is within the nature of a woman to bring forth that which she has received from the man, but she doesn't give back. It's like you're told, you give a woman groceries, she'll give you food. So she's not going to take the groceries back to you and give you. You do not give her a house and she gives you back the house. She will make it a home and present the home to you. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So the woman was not created to give. Now back to the topic of money. It is not so easy for a working woman to freely give, or you demand, or you force her to give. It will be a challenge. But in maturity, and if two are working together and agreeing, then this will not be a factor. But this factor will come as a result of the choice both of you have made, so that you can work together in agreement. And at the same time, how mature are you? Have you attained your maturity in this matter? Have you attained your maturity to be able to manage the finances? as little as it is or as much as it is? And are you in union together? Are you in agreement in what you have set to do pertaining this money or this wealth that you have found yourself into, or this situation of lack that you have found yourself into? I hope I've made a change, or maybe I have answered a few questions in relations to money in the union of marriage. I've realized it has become one of a major contributing factor to divorces, domestic abuse, all sorts of manners of abuses in the union of marriage, lack of happiness, joy, comfort in the unions of marriage especially. And also let this be a learning lesson for those who are planning to get married, that let no one tell you that marriage is all roses, founded in love. Yes, in love you need to be mature. Yes, in love you need to know that there is a key contributing factor which is called a medium of exchange, called money, that both of you need to be on the same page to know, how can I behave in the presence of my wife, or how can the wife behave in the presence of the husband when we find ourselves in this shortage, when we find ourselves in this plenty, in this wealth that we never even dreamt or imagined that we could have had. So until next time, keep watching my videos, keep subscribing, keep liking, sharing. Kindly also comment. I would love to read your comments, and also tell me on what other topic you'd want me to discuss. See you next time.